The community of Eldorado Park has been suffering under the scourge of drug abuse for many years. Today, Mayor Herman Mashaba opened up a newly built substance abuse center that he hopes will offer help to those in the area addicted to drugs.
Okay, then do we open? Is it open? Oh, you've got the key to it. One of the challenges that we actually identified was actually to fight against the drugs, and MMC Palazzo was given the mandate by government to ensure that he does something about it medically and otherwise, and came out with the concept of opening up of this abuse treatment centers in the communities. I think, for me, it's an immediate intervention measures. I think the only way we can win a fight against drugs is to ensure that there are consequences for drug dealers. I think we need to work and actually compel the national government to close our borders to ensure that these drugs are not brought into this country. And drug dealers, once arrested, they must face the real consequences of destruction of our society. But in the meantime, we're sitting with this problem. For me, this is a short-term intervention measure, while at the same time we're looking at long-term. Long-term, we have to ensure that drug dealers, the real dealers themselves, must be put away and be put away forever.
Treatment at these centers will be free of charge and will treat a variety of addictions. A few years ago, the Eldorado Park community was thrust into the news spotlight due to its large-scale drug problem. President Zuma visited the area and promised to intervene. Community anti-drug activist Daleon James says that the presidential campaign was short-lived and the drug problem in Eldorado Park is as bad as it's ever been.
What has changed is the fact that the local NGOs on the ground have become very active in the fight against substance abuse. In terms of the presidential intervention, we had 3 months of guns blazing. Everyone was here. There was visible policing. We had social workers. But unfortunately, it was a short-lived campaign. And I always say it met a tick box criteria campaign that didn't really bear the results that we wanted it to bear. To date, we are very excited for this treatment center in Eldorado Park. It's the start of something bigger that's going to happen in this community. I'm hoping for that. But still, we have a major problem with the justice system. There's still a lot of drug dealers on our streets. I work with the 9 high schools in Eldorado Park, and it is very sad to see all the learners addicted to drugs and all the drug peddling going on in our schools. Unfortunately, everything that gets done, let me just say this, by government, it gets done for a short period of time. There's no sustainable programs. I find that according to our research that we're doing, kids are starting to use drugs from a very young age, the age of 8. That is the reality in Eldorado Park. And we're going to need a lot more than just, the treatment center. We have to get NPA on board. We cannot just have arrests without convictions. We also need to focus on the unemployment, the high unemployment in this community, the lack of housing. All of those things contributes to where we find ourselves today.
EWN also spoke to 2 friends who are former drug addicts. Germaine Pienaar and Daleon Sooprayen have been clean for a few months now and helped with the construction of this new rehab center. They spoke about how easy it is to get drugs in the streets of Eldorado Park and offered some advice to other youngsters who might be addicted to substances.
Drugs in this area, there's everywhere drugs in this area. So you can get it anywhere, at any corner, And it has affected us all because it's close by. I mean, when you just come out of your house, then the drugs is always to your left or to your right, depending where you stay.
As my brother said, Germaine, in each and every corner you find there's a drug lord, and so many people are into it, especially the youngsters, even the elderly people are into drugs. So drugs it's almost as a Somali shop you find. That's how bad drugs are in Eldorado Park. You can get it anywhere, and any point in time you can get those drugs.
I see that there's so many things that I regret in my life right now because of drugs. I could have been, let me say, being sober right now, knowing that I could have done so much with my life, because I never finished anything in my life. I never finished high school. I never finished. I had to do it at another place. I never finished even working also. I never actually really got permanent because most of my time was for drugs. Okay, let me just say this. Like I said also I tell everybody this: don't let that bag have power over you. don't make it so hard for yourself to just say no, to just admit to yourself that, you know, what you're doing is not for you. Drugs is not for us all anymore. Drugs is not the answer to actually living a better life, let me say.
It basically came to a point where I saw that the suffering, you know, came to a point of suffering, especially at home. My mother is unemployed, and then I'm the elder brother, and got the younger brother as well, younger than me. And stealing from home, having to hurt my mother, you know, hurt the next person by stealing, manipulation, you know, robbing the people, you know, and having to see that I'm going nowhere in life, you know. It came to a point I also had a job, and I also lost my job due to drugs, because it was 0% non to alcohol and drug abuse at the company I worked for. And it came to a point where I lost my job, and nothing was going well for me. I was just going down on the downhill, you know, was in this dark. But eventually came to a point where I said, no, I needed help. And seeing that I grew up in a Christian home, it came to a point where I had to call out unto God for help. And I believe God took me out of a miry clay, placed my feet upon a rock, out of a dark pit. He took me and brought me into a marvelous light. And God, and I believe, yeah, it's only God, it's only Jesus who delivered me. And yeah, that's how I got to come out of drugs. So yes. Also having to be part of this project, I actually didn't know what it was. We just thought, no, just like containers they're putting up, just gonna lay paving, and had to find out that no, it's a rehab center. And it feels, it brings so much joy to a person's heart, because I'm eager to help the next person and to work, and that I'm part of this, you know, like one day I can also tell my children and tell my friends that, brother, you see that same place which is up there, that same place which is helping you out, I helped out, I laid paving, I did this and I did that, and it brings forth joy in a person's heart,
Drug abuse remains a major challenge in the community of Eldorado Park, but people are hopeful that these centers can help more youngsters turn their lives around, just like Germaine and Daleon have done.